Good day dear students, in this video we shall be discussing about the various concepts of honesty. What do you mean by moral honesty, conditioned honesty? What is the aspect of honesty in engineers? The various concepts of integrity, reliability, risks involved in the profession of engineering, safety to be taken care of, what are the various risk calculations, and liability in engineering will be covered in this particular video. So what do you mean by honesty? Honesty means the quality of being honest, that is truthful, fair and straightforward in conduct of one's own duties and expression. So honesty can be defined as is defined as a fairness and straightforwardness of conduct and speech. So it involves a behavior characterized by integrity, truthfulness, freedom from deceit, fairness in dealing with others, and respect for others' work and honesty. Honesty can be of two forms: moral honesty and conditioned honesty. So moral honesty means involving respect for others and their property. It also means commitment to truthfulness, fairness, and freedom from deceit as a habit and not due to fear of rules and other obligations. Conditioned honesty means honesty resulting from recognition of consequences that of being caught while doing a wrong activity. So conditioned honesty is practiced in society for the value of security. So it constitutes a deliberate attempt to prevent the people from adopting wrongful deeds or following wrongful conduct. Natural moral honesty is ideal and conditioned honesty is a necessity. So in the behaviors of an individual, we should be always morally honest and also follow the rules of conditioned honesty. It must also be understood that honesty does not simply mean staying away from corruption or doing wrong activities. It means a steadfast fidelity to the values of loyalty towards society and one's organization or company, self-obedience of the rules and regulations, self-discipline, confidentiality in work, truthfulness and trustworthiness in conduct, and dedication of one's profession. Honesty is a virtue which has to be cultivated and consistently followed in all walks of life, particularly in professional life. So honesty is the best policy. If honesty becomes a sine qua non for every profession, it can go a long way in serving the mankind and saving the mankind. So honesty of engineers. Engineers must always act as honest engineers dedicated to their profession and to the rules of their professional ethics, truthful and trustworthy in conduct, self-disciplined, faithful to their organization and employers, and committed to remain away from corruption, deceit and other malpractices. They should always act on the basis of two key aspects of honesty, that is truthfulness and trustworthiness. Honesty has two key dimensions, truthfulness and trustworthiness. So truthfulness means to follow truth in conduct and speech and to have a firm faith in the dictum, truth always triumphs. So truthful conduct involves sincerity in actions, speech, conduct and all relations. Honesty does not only mean keeping away from dishonesty, it also means refraining from dishonesty. Refraining from dishonesty. So refraining from dishonesty simply means the negative dimension of honesty. So the following constitutes the variables of dishonesty. First one is lying, that is to tell lies or give misleading or false information with intent to deceive others. Second one is deception, so to deceive others by making others believe that what is not true is true. So the act of deceiving others by feeding false information, wrong information, misleading information is deception. Hiding the information, hiding of facts and information also falls in the category of deceit and dishonesty. Here person deliberately holds on to the facts and information which he is expected to pass to the others. Failure to seek truth, whenever a person fails to seek the truth and makes an no attempt to find out the truth about any information or the particular case, it is an act of dishonesty. So avoiding truth or even dishonesty does not mean honesty. By avoiding truth, a person becomes party to dishonesty and untruth. So all these variables denote dishonesty, and honest habitually refrains from dishonesty, that is from telling lies, deceiving others, hiding of the facts and information, and avoidance of truth. The next aspect that defines honesty is trustworthiness. So second major aspect of honesty is trustworthiness. It means quality of being good, honest, sincere, and enjoying the confidence and trust of others. So this quality can be earned through continuous and self-willed commitment to the values of truth, honesty, faithfulness, and sincerity in conduct, expression, decisions, and actions. An engineer earns the quality of trustworthiness by consistently following the honest and right conduct. Likewise, a company or organization also wins trustworthiness by consistently following the values of truth, honesty, sincerity, transparency, fairness, qualitativeness, consistent respect for rules and regulations of the government, and respect for social norms and needs. Trustworthiness means the ability to meet responsibilities of trust at the that has been reposed in the engineers. So the engineers have to be trustworthy, and only then can hope of getting higher, bigger, and more responsible assignments in their organization. So engineers must accept and follow the value of honesty. They must uphold moral honesty and accept the rules and regulations of conditioned honesty. So next is honesty of engineers. So what is expected from engineers is explained in the next 22 points in the next two slides. So so engineers must always uphold the values of engineering ethics. They must honestly pursue their profession. They should make public statements objectively and in a truthful manner. Engineers must always uphold the standards and demands of public safety, health, and welfare. They must prepare reports honestly and base the reports on the facts. They should never hide any information that will cause public harm at a later stage. They should refrain from deception and should not testify wrongful facts and information. Engineers should never falsify their qualifications and area of competence. They must accept or offer, they must not offer any award or contract by scatological and underhand means or by means of corruption. Whenever an engineer feels that project is being handled by him is not going to be successful, he must immediately intimate his clients and employers. So continuing from the previous slide, point number 10, during the course of their service with an organization, engineers should not accept any other employment or consultancy without the knowledge of his employers. They should never accept any outside assignments or employment that can be detrimental to their employment. Engineers must refrain from attacking engineers from other organizations by false and misleading information. Engineers should never promote their personal interests at the expense of the interest of the organization. Engineers should never compromise with the dignity and integrity of their profession. Engineers should come forward to report any unethical means that is being used by their fellow workers or engineers. Honesty demands that engineers should respect their proprietary interests of others. Engineers should not duplicate or steal the designs of other engineers without the permission or written confirmation by other engineers, and violating the patents, intellectual property rights and code of professional ethics should be prevented. Plagiarism has to be prevented. Engineers should not have any relation with other organizations or corporations or partnership engaged in unethical practices. They should not shield an act of being used by as a cloak for an unethical act. Engineers should not try to mar the prospects of promotion of other engineers by adopting false and unethical means. They must honestly and objectively analyze and evaluate the work of other engineers and workers. Engineers must accept and follow the principles of truthfulness and trustworthiness. They must consistently follow honesty, sincerity, integrity of their conduct and war which can earn them trust and confidence of others. Engineers must not accept gifts and favors from persons who can later on try to misuse their contacts and relations with them. It must be recognized that honesty does not simply mean remaining away from dishonesty. It means positive actions, and decisions must be based on truth, fairness, sincerity and faithfulness. Engineers should try to adopt the guidelines of a self-imposed code of conduct. They must also consistently work with full respect to all rules and regulations. They should never hesitate to bring to light loopholes, needs for reforms and suitable remedies. So all these points of honesty have already been covered in the previous slide, hence I will skip to the next slide. The next important concept is integrity. So the word integrity has been derived from Latin word integrates, which means whole or intact. So in this way, integrity can be defined as faithful, honest, wholesome conduct and dealings. So Oxford Dictionary explains integrity means the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Professional integrity means to behave with integrity as whole and not divided. So the terms which are used to describe integrity is truthfulness, honesty, soundness, wholesomeness, probity, unadulterated and undivided slate. A person with integrity is responsible and truthful in behavior and is regarded as a trustworthy person. Such a person habitually acts with honesty, truthfulness, faithfulness, soundness, fairness, even when he is not being watched by others. So integrity in engineering can be explained as engineers with professional integrity act with honesty, sincerity, faithfulness and fairness. So the engineers with professional integrity will always act in honesty, sincerity and faithfulness in their actions. So integrity of engineers involved in research and development work. While engaged in R&D work, engineers must remain honest, faithful. They must conduct their research sincerely and put in sincere efforts for producing valid results through experimentation. They should not get involved in unethical and illegal acts like trimming. Trimming means modifying, tailoring or playing with the facts to uphold the desired results and not the objective and true results. So trimming involves dishonesty in presenting the results of experimenting. Or cooking. Cooking means being selective in retaining and discarding data as per one's requirement for supporting a particular theory or hypothesis. So engineers with integrity do not cook facts or data. Next is plagiarism. It means stealing of idea or reports of others and presenting it as their own. So plagiarism is morally and legally wrong. Integrity stands for absence of plagiarism of every kind. Next is unreal authorship. So sometimes reports and findings of research and experimentations are presented as the work of several researchers or authors. In reality, it is the work of one single person or two persons, and others are unreal authors. So engineers with integrity should never get involved in such an unethical exercise. Engineers with integrity always remain away from all these four major malpractices. Next is integrity of engineers in the use of intellectual property. So properties and credits which are the products of mental labor come under the heading intellectual property. So this stand documented and protected in several ways with the help of patents, copyrights, trademarks, trade secrets and other rights. So protection of ideas is known as patent and protection of expression of ideas is known as copyright. So trademark is used as protection where a product or a word or a symbol or device is used in trade. The next important concept is concept of reliability. So reliability is quality of being dependable, trustworthy and authentic. When an engineer earns the recognition of a being dependable, reliable professional, he comes to have the quality of reliability. So reliability is neither a tangible thing nor a gift that can be passed on by one person to another person. Each engineer has to earn it by earning a clean track record and by consistent hard work. Knowledge, expertise, competence, sincerity, ability to handle challenging tasks and responsibilities. And he should have the ability to deliver good results over and over again to get recognition as a reliable engineer or a reliable person. It takes months of consistent hard work and efficient performance. So how an engineer becomes reliable? It depends on various factors. Some of the key factors are enlisted as below. The knowledge of the area in which he is going to work and experience in that particular area, application oriented knowledge plus ability to and willingness to apply the knowledge and individual skills, consistent and disciplined hard work, consistent and maintained a good track record, respect for fellow engineers, respect for fellow engineering ethics, willingness to accept and handle challenges and challenging situations, knack for innovation and enterprise, commitment to value of honesty, integrity, sincerity and hard work, willingness and ability to handle conflict of interest, ability to keep professional jealousy aside and rivalries aside, competitiveness based on principles of equality, fairness and healthy competition, willingness and ability to learn more and more and to remain aware of all the new developments happening in his area of competence. So all these factors and all these commitments can help an engineer to earn the quality of being reliable. Like respect, reliability can be commanded and it cannot be demanded. It can be earned gradually over the period of time by consistently producing good performance over and over again over a period of time. So each engineer gains some reliability by joining an organization and enjoying reliability in the that enjoys the reliability in the market. However, he has to work for his organization and along with it he needs to work for strengthening the reliability of his organization. In this slide we shall cover the concept of risk. So almost everything that we do, all our actions involves some kind of risk. So in contemporary times, new technologies, new gadgets, chemicals, processes, products have been virtually flooding into the market. and the homes of the people. So these are accompanied by several possible risks, side effects and after effects. The development of science and technology has been bringing to light the hazards of some of the old products and processes, chemicals and services which are initially considered to be safe and risk free. So risk management has become one of the major responsibility of scientists, engineers and technocrats. Engineers are responsible for ensuring the safety of the product that is being designed, manufactured and marketed. So they have to provide full information about the possible risks that can result from the use of various products, as well as the nature and number of precautions that should be taken for avoiding or minimizing the scope of risk. Risk can be defined as a possibility that something had harmful and dangerous might have happened. So it involves a possibility of suffering harm or loss in the process of using or undertaking a project or product or process or service. We shall see about risk calculation in the next slide. The factors determining the nature and gravity of risk also contribute to risk calculation. While calculating risk or risks involved in the use of any product or process or service, several major factors have to be taken into consideration. In respect of the following factors, the probability and magnitude of risk have to be taken into account. That is human health loss or health hazards, dangers to public and safety and welfare, financial losses, environmental pollution, loss of time, loss of energy, efforts and efficiency, loss of reputation and credibility, loss of public confidence, impact of on the society, that is social impact, economic impact, cultural life, impact on cultural life, psychological impacts on the users, moral considerations. So all these variables are to be taken into consideration while assessing the probability, nature and magnitude of risk. So here we shall see about the factors which can increase the chances of risk. So several factors can increase the chances and levels of risk. They are faulty design and processes, faulty products, hasty production and mass production, carelessness towards quality control, faulty operating procedures, lack of clear instructions for the users, lack of expertise on the part of the producer of the goods, inadequately trained manpower, tardy user trials, inability to handle technical problems. So all this are the factors that will increase the chances of risks. So these factors have to be reduced in order to reduce the risks involved. So all these factors play a role in determining the chances of the risk, levels of the risk. Most of the factors can be taken care by developing and using new and useful technologies. So the guiding principle has to be technology can be developed and used for solving technological problems and reducing the chances of lapses and errors in manufacturing of products and creation of processes and systems. So use of CNC machines and systems, as well as development of suitable computer software or IT solutions, can enable the engineers to reduce the chances of risk by making their designs, machines and production more and more efficient, useful and risk free. So there are various types of risks. While analyzing the possible risks, engineers should also keep in mind the type of risks. So the study of type of risk can enable them to define better the nature and gravity of risks involved in the use of a design and usage of the product or the process. So voluntary and non-voluntary or involuntary risks. Some of these risks are voluntary, as the people are willing to take the risk and they are aware and knowingly these can people can take this risk and can use some problems. However, they prefer to give weightage to the benefits in comparison to these risks. So, non-voluntary or involuntary risks are taken by people knowingly. So, people always react against involuntary risks, which become known to them only after the use of the product or process. So, this has to be always prevented. This makes it necessary for engineers to tell the public in advance all the possible risks as well as the precautions that is required to be taken for such risks. Next is short-term risks and long-term risks. So whenever the adverse or negative consequences of any risk are for a very short term, then people tend to tolerate it. So they, however, do not easily reconcile with risks which last for a longer duration. So in this category, we can also include delayed risks and immediate risks. So risks with low probability and risks with high probability. So whenever risks have a lower probability, the people accept them. They always try to avoid products with high risk probability. Next is risk with reversible effects and risk with irreversible effects. So the risks whose effects can be reversed after some particular time, preferably after a short duration, are reversible effects. So irreversible effects are those that cannot be reversed and it lasts for a longer duration and are irreversible. So people always dislike and prefer to avoid irreversible risks. However, they even accept such risks when these are mild or their gravity is very low. Next is threshold risks. So these are some risks which emerge only after crossing a threshold limit. Such risks emerge when user recklessly uses the product. So for example, a car or a motorbike becomes a risk when it is driven recklessly over the speed limits. Next is job related risks. So certain job or work always involves some risks. So engineers must always have the knowledge of risks involved in their work, particularly when they are involved in the use of heavy machinery, electrical appliances, nuclear reactors, high altitude constructions, and similar activities. Engineers must take all safety precautions against all possible job related risks. They should also have knowledge and training in meeting emergencies, industrial accidents, breakdowns, and some similar other activities. While describing the possible risks involved in use and product of process, the engineers must specify the type of risks involved and possible precautions against them. By providing information about all possible risks, their nature, gravity, and essential precautions for eliminating or reducing the chances of risks or damage control. So the engineers increase the acceptability of the products. Engineers must define the probability rate, possible adverse consequences, gravity of consequences, and possible remedies or precautions. So last topic of this chapter is safety. So the concept of safety does not admit a standalone definition and explanation because different people have different views and takes on safety. It is indeed a subjective concept. So for safety for one person may be unsafe for another. So it is dependent on the sense of safety and security of each person, the situation in which the safety is demanded or defined, and the perception of people regarding the nature of safety they want in a particular product or service. So something can be safe for one person while other can hold it to be unsafe or less safe. Safety in peacetime is different from safety in emergency or war. In times of economic recession, people give top importance to job safety. However, despite the difficulties involved in process of defining safety, we can safely say that safety means absence of risks or presence of lesser or minimum amount of risk. Further, even when some acceptable risks are there, people consider the product or process or situation to be safe. Theoretically, we can say that safety stands for absence of risks. Since all risks cannot be totally eliminated, we can pragmatically say that safety means the presence of less risks or the presence of acceptable risks along with the several benefits. So a thing is safe if its risks are judged to be acceptable. Next is responsibility of engineers for safely designing a product for usage of public and the safety of the workers and safety of the industry. Every industry will have their own safety norms and requirements. Okay, some of the generalized responsibility of engineers for ensuring the safety is mentioned in this slide. So while designing a product, engineers must comply with all the public laws and policies. They must allow the legal standards in respect of designing the product. They should be technically sound and have full knowledge of the engineering standards. Engineers must try to create more safe designs and products. Safety means safety with some acceptable risks. So engineers must always ensure that risks should be kept a minimum and acceptable limits and should be informed to the public. In order to make their design product safe, they must foresee the potential risks involved and possible misuse of the design or product, and they should try to eliminate it and at least minimize the chances of misuse. They must make public all possible risks involved in their design. They must make their design and product eco-friendly. They must always be ready for accepting improvements in their designs, and they should continuously try to improve their designs with the view to make them more and more safe for the public and the users. So the next concept is liability. Liability means the state of being legally responsible for the damage or harm or suffering caused by the wrongful action on part of a company or a person. So it also means that the state of being bound by the law and equity. So a person or a company becomes liable for his actions under law in case its product or service causes any direct or even indirect or incidental harm to the person or persons. In such a case, person or company which is held responsible for the damage or harm becomes liable to pay damage for compensation to the aggrieved person or people. So failure to do this can even lead to imprisonment of concerned person or the owners of the company. So the case study for this I have explained in the notes. You can just refer the notes for the same. The professionals are also bound by law. They are liable for any damage or suffering caused by their designs, products, processes. In case they expose other persons to unacceptable risks and harms, they are responsible under law and are liable for legal action against their company and themselves. And ultimately, it will affect their career. So while designing or manufacturing the product, engineers must not compromise with safety standards. They should not do anything that can cause big and unacceptable risks for public safety, health and welfare. They can face legal actions for ignoring the safety norms of the public. In the recent days, the consumer protection movement has been becoming a more and more stronger, and the consumers can sue companies for hiding the facts or costs or risks of weaknesses of their products. So consumer codes have been established in all cities in India. This has increased the scope of liability of the company for paying damages to the aggrieved customers or consumers. In such cases, the companies can internally hold the engineers responsible for their losses that they have suffered. Likewise, the companies and professionals have to be responsible and they have to follow all the laws made for the protection of the environment. They have to adhere to the laws against child labor, laws for protecting the safety as well as keeping the work conditions healthy, the companies are liable for legal action on account of violation of these laws. So professional or engineers engaged in private businesses or practices are directly responsible for damage to public safety, public health and public welfare. So at times, for reducing the cost, a company can ask its engineers and other professionals to lower the quality of the product or to lesser the safety devices and features. Before accepting the decision and wishes of the company, the engineers must weigh in the consequences of the increased risk. They should not unduly compromise with the demands of their profession and try to secure a balance between and they should secure a balance to the views or decisions of the company and the norms of their professional ethics. In order to meet any unforeseen consequences in the form of any damage or loss to the public or consumers, the company should try to secure an insurance cover. However, while providing the insurance cover, the insurance company should ensure the quality of the product that is being insured, the track record of the company, and the measures taken by the company for the safety of the product and for the reduction of the risks. All the companies and their owners or directors are liable for legal action for all the frauds, industrial accidents, exposing the clients to unacceptable and hidden risks or criminal activities and violations of environmental laws and safety standards. So the norms of engineering ethics calls on all engineers to continuously keep in mind their and their company's liability under the laws of the state. All professionals are bound by the law and are liable for legal actions for causing damage or loss to public safety, health and welfare. So with this slide I conclude the module 4.